What is up, my beautiful knowing truth speakers? This episode is brought to you by Painless Pregnancy. Painless Pregnancy is a group of physical therapists located in South Florida who specialize in helping pregnant and postpartum women prevent dysfunction and heal in the comfort of their own homes. This concierge service has been a game changer for me after my third childbirth, and I am excited to partner with them and offer our listeners 10% off of their first in-home visit using my code NikkiSpo10. Stay tuned to learn more. Welcome, everybody. You are listening to The Know with me, Nikki Spo, and this special episode is brought to you by PillowCube. You all know I have been using my PillowCube for almost a year now, and it has changed my sleep game. I bring my sidekick pillow with me legit anytime I am not sleeping in my own bed, and I'm excited to tell you about the crazy deals you can get on your PillowCube when you purchase one this month as we gear up for Black Friday. Stay tuned to learn more. This is a savings you will not want to miss. So let's get started with today's guest. Welcome to the Know Podcast with me, Nikki Spo. What is up, truth speakers? You are listening to The Know, and I am your host, Nikki Spo, and today I am dropping some big truth bombs about why I decided not to breastfeed this time around. That's right, I am not breastfeeding, nursing, pumping, giving breast milk in any way, shape, or form. It was straight to formula for us this time, and I'm going to give you the real reasons why. So let's get started. Okay, like always, I want to start with some backstory and context. First and foremost, it is my personal belief that breast milk is indeed better than formula. Whoa. That is my belief based on tons of my own personal research. And that said, I don't think formula is bad at all. Two things can be true at once, right? I simply believe in many of the benefits that come from serving breast milk early on in a baby's life, which is why I worked so darn hard to nurse my firstborn. Giving my son breast milk and especially colostrum was very important to me. So for those who are unfamiliar, colostrum is the first milk that your breast produce once your baby is born. It's super high in nutrients and is said to amp up your baby's immune system, among a plethora of other benefits. Fortunately, I had no issues producing breast milk. However, my son was losing weight, more than the normal amount that they lose naturally after birth. So for 6 weeks, I drove myself mad trying to perfect the latch, trying different nursing pillows, pumping to serve and store milk, going back and forth from the breast to the bottle with breast milk. And I refused to supplement with formula because I was committed to getting the whole breastfeeding thing right. Even though I had a night nurse, which was a tremendous help, the nightly breastfeeding didn't really help me feel energized during the day. It was, I think anybody who's been there kind of knows that the sleep deprivation is really, man, it can have a really difficult impact on a new mother's life and a new family in general. So I was becoming just overwhelmingly frustrated, lonely, scared, and really, really stressed out. I felt like I wasn't connecting with my son, and I had severe anxiety anytime he would cry or wake up. I just wanted him to sleep peacefully. And because I couldn't get him to latch, it would literally take him 65 minutes just to consume the milk, not including burping time and all the efforts I had to make to assist with the colic that he had. It wasn't, in that pregnancy, with my first son, it wasn't until I discovered that he had a lip tie around, 5 or 6 weeks that I started to consider making a change. First of all, we went to have his lip tie cut. And even though he was healing and I had to tend to his lip to make sure it healed properly, I already noticed an improvement in his latch. But even so, by then I had given up on breastfeeding and I opted instead to give him breast milk in a bottle. I was just done with the boob. Okay, great. So now I'm giving him breast milk in the bottle and my life had improved, but still I was pumping around the clock to store up. Then my husband and I began to travel pretty early on, after our son was born. And I became so frustrated with the engorgement of my breast that I finally gave up pumping also. And once I did, I have to say that I felt freedom and I started to feel joy again. I started to feel like I was connecting with my baby. So that was a really big decision for me. I definitely felt like for me, and there's so many different versions of this story for so many different people, but I do think that for me, breastfeeding it wasn't good for me as a person, like just as a human and as a mom. And like in hindsight, I can see that I needed to be the best version of myself to show up for my family. So next up, get pregnant again. I was with my second baby. I said to myself, okay, breastfeeding just ain't for me. Okay. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And that's okay. So I decided to pump exclusively. Well, that was all fun and games. Everything was going great until I got mastitis twice. If you don't know what mastitis is, it's an infection in your breast milk ducts. Okay. Your breasts become like super engorged and hard as rocks, and the milk ducts get blocked, causing backup and ultimately the infection. But what's worse, in my opinion, is that it brings on flu-like symptoms. So fevers, chills, complete body aches. Whew, it was a mess. It was a messy time, guys. So because of our family's work and my husband's travel requirements, I was alone a lot. I didn't have time to deal with the storm that came with mastitis. But thankfully, while he was traveling, I had an incredible nanny to help me. And so off to the doctor I went, feeling like death to deal with the mastitis. And that was my stopping point. Fortunately, at that point in time, I had stocked up on breast milk, and I was able to supplement formula and breast milk for several more weeks with my second born. My anxiety, so I think this is an interesting correlation. My anxiety was not as severe that time around, but I definitely struggled. I think a lot about my own personal experiences with postpartum anxiety and depression. And I think that it's so hard not to feel anxious when you have your firstborn. It's such a huge life change. You're learning so much, like you and the family unit is learning and changing and having to adjust to this whole new way of life and the toll that it takes on your body. So definitely I was a little bit more psychologically and emotionally prepared going into my my second birth and getting ready to have my second child. But it still was a lot, I think I was still kind of like traumatized from like the first experience, that I still carried a lot of that anxiety over into my second time around. So it's not to say that it wasn't there. I think it was better, but I still struggled a little bit. You all, I want to take a break, and I want to take a moment to tell you about how lucky I feel to have found painless pregnancy. I started seeing Dr. Luli Diaz 2 weeks after I had my third baby, and I have honestly had the best recovery yet. At Painless Pregnancy, their belief is that their services should be the standard of care for every woman, especially pregnant and postpartum women. Some of the issues that they treat are diastasis recti, back pain, hip pain, pelvic pain. They treat pubic dysfunction, numbness and tingling in your arms or legs. They treat general aches and pains, headaches and neck pain. They treat difficulty walking or having a severe waddling gait. They treat balance issues and urinary or fecal incontinence. They help treat pain with sex or other pelvic issues, and they treat prolapse, among so many other issues. Pregnant women should not wait until they are actually in pain or dysfunction to see the incredible therapists at Painless Pregnancy. So many women think that the issues I mentioned are normal, or that there is no solution, or that their only solution is to have surgery, but that's simply not true. Working with the therapists at Painless Pregnancy can heal you. You all know that we must fill our own cup before we can pour from it. Make your prenatal and postpartum health a priority today by booking an appointment with Painless Pregnancy. You can head on over to www.painless-pregnancy.com and use my code NikkiSpo10 for 10% off of your initial in-home evaluation visit. You guys, I want to take a break to tell you about the amazing deals we are offering to the No listeners this November for Black Friday. So It's no secret I am obsessed with Pillow Cube, right? The ultimate pillow for side sleepers. I legit cannot sleep without my sidekick pillow and my kneesy in between the knees pillow. But there's truly something for everyone, from the ice cube cooling pillow to the super fun and themed and cozy pillow cubs for the kids, which mine actually happen to love. They fight over which one gets which. Anyway, the Pillow Cube is a great holiday gift. I can't tell you like how much money I have spent trying out all of the different pillows that are out there, and I am so lucky that I finally found Pillow Cube. This Black Friday, you can score some major savings, whether you're buying sleep assets for yourself or you're gifting them out to your people. Hello, White Elephant Gift Exchange. I want to win that gift exchange gift, okay? I mean, check it out. The Ice Cube Side Sleeper Pillow, which is normally $159, you'll get it for $119. The Pillow Cub, which is normally $69.99, you'll get for $34.99. One of my favorites, the Kneesy, is usually $89.99, and you will score that for $44.99. Lastly, the big hitter, the Pillow Cube mattress, will be 20% off. Okay, guys, you will not regret owning these. I'm telling you. This Black Friday, check out www.pillowcube.com for incredible savings. And as always, my personal discount code NikkiSpo10 is a standing code that you can use all year round. All right, let's get back to the show. Fast forward to now, my third child, my baby girl. Pretty immediately, when I got pregnant, I knew that I was not going to breastfeed her or pump. I knew early on that I would give her formula from jump. And the whole point of this episode is to answer the question, why? Well, I've said this like a million times. I feel like you guys might get tired of hearing it, but my year was incredibly difficult. I had a lot of big difficulties present in my life. And starting from February, when I found out I was pregnant, you all know the saying, like, we make plans and God laughs, right? I mean, I believe that to be true in a lot of ways. But I also know that when I make a plan and I control the things that I can control, it leaves room for me to better handle unforeseen circumstances that may pop up. Some of you may know the serenity prayer. I say it daily. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. For me, this was the wisdom to know the difference. Like, control what I can control, let go of the things I can't, and have the wisdom to know like which one is which. Okay. So my whole life, guys, I have been prone to anxiety and depression. The main things that got me through this really difficult year were, one, my relationship with God, and two, my sobriety. And like the serenity prayer is something I say every day because of both of those things. I don't know how I could have handled any of the hardships I faced this year if I wasn't sober, personally, and in connection with my higher power. I don't know. Both my sobriety and my faith gave me the strength to put like one foot in front of the other every day, and to do my best to smile through the pain and the fear, which was like really difficult some days. So that considered, I knew that I wanted to control what I could control once my baby girl arrived in the world. And that meant mostly controlling how and when I could rest, sleep, and recover. Controlling how I would feel physically with like my breasts and like, everything else that happens during birth, and controlling how energized I could be to support my two toddlers who need their mommy and my new baby girl. Ultimately, my decision not to nurse or pump was a sacred choice that I made to protect my own mental health so that I could show up for myself and my 3 children to the best of my ability. I heavily weighed the pros and cons, and I came to believe that the pros that came with having a happy, healthy, mentally well mother who would be able to support and love and be there for her children far outweighed the cons that came with giving my daughter formula. I believe that my children benefit most from a happy, rested, peaceful, less anxious mommy, and a mommy who has the energy to walk her boys to school and play their games and do dance parties with them, who can show them how to be big brothers to a little baby girl, a mommy who can nuzzle and smile and coo at her baby daughter instead of rocking her through tears while praying for the anxiety to go away. It was a decision I made, similar to putting on your oxygen mask before assisting other passengers, right? We have to fill our cup before we can assist others, because no one can afford to have mommy go down. That's the thing. Like, mommies are often the glue that holds your family together. And that's not to say that daddies are not. Like, we know now, we know the role that having two parents in a home can play in a family system. I see you out there, single moms and single dads, but I know that in my family unit, no one can afford to have mommy go down, and this is why I made my choice. And I believe in my decision wholeheartedly. I know that I did the right thing. So if you are on the fence about like what to do, my best advice is to follow your gut. You know what's right for you and for your family. Keep your blinders on, make informed decisions, and don't let societal expectations or judgment from others deter you from doing what's right for you and your family. You got this, truth speakers. I hope that sharing my journey with you is helpful in some capacity. If you know somebody who's considering not breastfeeding, and they're just like all hung up on, oh my gosh, the shame and the judgment that comes with that, like, go ahead and send them this episode. And if you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you left me a 5-star rating and a review. I love sharing my experience, strength, and hope with all of you, and I just want you to keep coming back for more. So thanks for listening. Over and out. Big thank you to my friends at Painless Pregnancy who have helped me have a truly painless postpartum experience after my C-section. I am seriously so very grateful to have found them, and I want every woman in town to know that these services exist and are available to them. Head on over to www.painless-pregnancy.com and use my code NikkiSpo10 for 10% off of your initial in-home evaluation visit. Thank you all so much for listening to this special episode presented by our friends at PillowCube. This Black Friday, you're getting hooked up with my favorite sleep products at incredibly discounted prices. I don't know about you, but I feel like some of the Black Friday deals out there in the last few years have been lame, but this deal is the real deal. Seriously, major savings. So this Black Friday, whether you're shopping for yourself or for a gift, be sure to maximize on your savings at www.pillowcube.com. Thank you so much for listening to The Know. If you loved this episode, go ahead and share it with a friend. Words are so powerful, and someone may need to hear what we covered today. And if you really loved this episode, please take a moment to rate the show and leave a review. Your comments are so important and valued, and they give other listeners insight on what to expect on The Know. You can connect with me personally via Instagram at NikkiSapSpo and The Know with Nikki Spo. My hope for you today is that you are fearless in looking inward so that you can be your highest, most authentic self and go after the life of your dreams.